another 75 basis point hike.
The likelihood is growing, not in September, in November.
Full coverage on a special edition of Bloomberg Surveillance.
This Fed is very, very focused on bringing inflation lower.
The Fed rate decision and Powell press conference.
Where's the when of getting to neutral?
Wednesday, starting at 1:30 on Bloomberg 1130 and Bloomberg Television.
Returning to London on September 28th, the Bloomberg Technology Summit will bring together Europe's top business leaders, innovators and investors to discuss the strategies fostering growth and innovation. In a world grappling with social, economic and political transformation, how can unprecedented digitization help companies thrive in this new environment? Speakers include executives from Copper, Darktrace and DST Global. Learn more at bloomberglive.com/TechLondon 2022.
No company wants to be involved in an international dispute. But when disagreements arise, you need expertise at your side. Take a closer look at ICDR, the International Center for Dispute Resolution. Backed by the longevity and strength of the American Arbitration Association, the ICDR is the world's leading provider of cross-border dispute resolution services, handling more cases than any other institution. Find out why global expertise matters. Visit ICDR.org.
Change can be disruptive, but at Bloomberg, we think bigger. Our sell-side solutions combine trading and automation with market-leading data, so you can evolve, scale, and embrace change. This is Bloomberg for the sell side. Visit bloomberg.com/sell-side.
Greg Sauter is president of WGI, which provides engineering solutions for public infrastructure and real estate development projects. He's also on the board of overseers for New Jersey Institute of Technology and sees firsthand the intense demand by companies to hire NJIT graduates.
It's become almost cliche to say, but a large percentage of the jobs required in the not-too-distant future have not even been identified yet. What that means is we need graduates with problem-solving skills and an understanding of technology, technological dexterity, to be the leaders and innovators of the future. NJIT is rising to that challenge. It's not just about the engineering and the science, but it's also about the application of those in problem solving. Understanding how to apply is something that NJIT is outstanding at, and that's one of the reasons that their student body, that their graduates are sought after.
NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. Learn more at njit.edu.
When the market is unpredictable, BAM gives you certainty. In the face of market volatility and illiquidity, BAM-insured municipal bonds deliver default protection, value preservation, and a durable AA rating from S&P. BAM's insurance protects against everything that causes a default, including natural disasters, financial fraud, pension issues, and economic disruption. So while America rebuilds, BAM has you covered. BAM. Build America Mutual. Talk to your investment advisor or visit buildamerica.com.
Looking to fast forward your practice goals? Commonwealth Financial Network can help you evolve your business by providing entrepreneurial capital, affiliation flexibility, and tailored business strategies. Everything you need to put your practice in the fast lane. Welcome to a better path to success. Welcome to Commonwealth. To learn more, visit commonwealth.com. Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Traffic and weather on Bloomberg 1130. Still very heavy delays at the inbound upper and lower levels of the George Washington Bridge this morning from pretty much every approach accident on the New York side. Right by the New York Tower is cleared. Cross fronts west loaded pretty much out of the Bruckner all the way out to the GWB. Traffic over at the Holland Tunnel, heavier from 1 to 9, much better from the Turnpike. Lincoln not too bad in Brooklyn. Big jam up on the inbound Gowanus and the VQE North right up to the Brooklyn Bridge. Bloomberg weather, mainly sunny, 75, 67 now. Tomorrow more sun and warm, 85 to 90. Monday through Wednesday look good, sunny, 80 to 90 degrees. Sponsored by Wendy's new home-style French toast sticks. They are so good, some are saying they're better than their moms. Perfectly crispy, golden brown. Try Wendy's new home-style French toast sticks today. See if they're better than your mom's. I'm Steve Michaels with the best ride in and out of the city. Bloomberg 1130, Bloomberg Sports.
This week, New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh went after team's doubters after week one. Joe Flacco says the team rallied around their head coach.
He's not shy about putting things out there like that to kind of defend us ultimately. So it comes down to us going out there on Sunday and being able to hold up our end of the bargain.
The Jets soar into Cleveland for a battle of backup quarterbacks at First Energy Stadium tomorrow. Jacoby Brissett gets the start for the Browns. I see Bloomberg Sports on SFM.
World markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is Bloomberg 1130. Now, a global news update.
A hurricane watch is out for Puerto Rico as Tropical Storm Fiona gains strength in the Caribbean. The storm is currently south of the Virgin Islands and packing 60-mile-an-hour winds. Forecasters say Fiona could dump over a foot of rain in parts of Puerto Rico, and they're warning of possible mudslides and dangerous flooding. The storm is expected to pass over the Dominican Republic tomorrow and turn north along the coast, the east coast of the U.S. California Governor Gavin Newsom signing a sweeping package of legislation he claims will create jobs, cut air pollution, and help transition the state to clean energy.
We're moving in a completely new direction, and I couldn't be more proud and excited.
Over the next 20 years, the bills are supposed to create 4 million new jobs, reduce oil use by 91%, and reduce air pollution by 60%. The oil industry says the bills amount to job killers. And Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren will stand vigil at her coffin today. Her state funeral will be held on Monday. I'm Brad Siegel.
You're listening to Bloomberg Business Week with Carol Messer and Bloomberg Quick Take Tim Stinovich from Bloomberg Radio.
This company, it is the world's biggest brewer, maker of Budweiser, Stella Artois, and Corona. And our next guest has spent nearly 20 years at the company. And he's got some thoughts for us on today's marketplace for adult beverages and really what consumers want most.
Marcel Marcondes is the Chief Marketing Officer at AB InBev. He's also the former Global President of AB InBev's Beyond Beer division. He joined us in studio this past week and expressed his hope that the world is finally, hopefully, putting COVID-19 in the rearview mirror.
Beer business, it's very meaningful to see that people are really willing to go back to life, to enjoy, to be outside, to enjoy concerts, to be with friends, to be with family, to have a good time, to feel like they can enjoy time together one more time. This has an impact on the economy. This has a significant impact in our business as well. You can imagine all the frequency on restaurants, bars, events, or all those things that were not happening anymore. So there's a balance, points of concern as it's always the case in life, but a lot of points for optimism as well.
Do you feel like you have a lot of clarity and in terms of the outlook? And it's interesting that you talk about events. Tim and I did a couple of shows from the U.S. Open here in New York City, and it was so packed compared to where it was pre-pandemic. So having said that, do you feel like the economy is stronger versus like all of the recessionary talk that seems to be going on globally?
Yes, and I am optimistic. That's exactly how I feel, especially for our industry. I am optimistic. There's a lot of bright side, a lot of bright angles for us to observe, like the ones you just described. People are out there. There's always a key concern about inflation, recession here and there, but there's a bigger inner voice and energy saying, go live.
Well, it's interesting hearing you speak this way because obviously your job is to tap into what people are feeling because you need to know how to communicate to them. You need to know how to express your brand to them in a way that they will be receptive to. How has your communication, AB InBev's communication, changed over the last couple of years?
That's a very good question. Actually, I should take one or two steps back before I get really straight into your question, because I think we as a company, we're going through a meaningful process of evolution. We're known for our financial discipline and for growing inorganically. But then in the last couple of years, to your question, we became the indisputable number one brewery in the world. And by the time you become the number one, you lead the category. So your growth model needs to adjust because it's not about acquiring other companies anymore and just fighting for share. You need to work to enlarge and to grow the whole category so that everybody wins and you win together. Meaning we need to move from a growth model that is focused on inorganic growth to a growth model that is focused on organic growth. And by the time any company makes that decision, brands become inevitably one of the most important assets of the organization, if not the most important ones. And this is when we really talk about our messaging and all that. So we are intentionally becoming much more consumer-centric, and this is for real. It's not just a nice thing to say. So we became obsessed about talking to people, understanding what's going on with them, what's impacting their behaviors, which are their needs, so that we can identify relevant opportunities to make our brands relevant in their lives. The key thing is that when you do marketing, when you build brands, there's a trap or a tendency for people to be okay just if they're visible. And then you can spend a lot of money just on visibility. The key thing to really drive growth and to be meaningful to people is when you find the right spots to be relevant to them.
How do you figure out relevancy?
It all comes as a consequence of being close to them. So we talk to literally millions of people every year. We have
surveys. Like, what do you do?
We have online panels and fixed online panels. We talk to thousands of consumers every week because we're obsessed about understanding their behavior. We learn a lot of that coming after COVID, right? Because when a big thing happens that significantly changes the way people live, we need to have a much tighter pulse on how they're living so you can identify the opportunities to be meaningful and relevant in their lives. And that's a big change that we've been going through as an organization.
Because there's so many brands at AB InBev, some 500 brands, how this is structured internally? Because you can't personally oversee 500 brands, so take us inside the company a little bit.
I was about to say welcome to the kitchen, but I'd rather say welcome to the bar. To the brewery. All right. I have heads of marketing responsible for the different regions of the world. And I also have people reporting directly to me to lead from those 500 brands with the 4 global brands. And they are Budweiser, Stella Artois, Corona, and Michelob Ultra. So there's a special focus there, plus the long tail of brands, because this is still an industry where 50-ish% of the industry's focus is still in local brands. They usually carry the local pride.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, do you anticipate that those 4 brands continue to be really the engine for the company going forward?
Oh yeah, definitely yes, because these 4 brands, they are premium brands.
Yeah.
And the premiumization is a gigantic trend that we see having a huge impact in multiple industries, including ours, and it's here to stay.
What are the top brands that sell in the United States?
I'll give you the top 2, okay? So number 1 is not going to be hard to guess. It's Bud Light, and it's been the case for decades. But number 2 might be new news for you. Number 2 is Michelob Ultra. Low carbs, low calorie, great taste.
It's been around for 20 years, though.
It's been around for 20 years, and since last year, it's the number 2 brand in volumes in the United States.
Tim, you were shocked by that.
Yeah, I was really surprised because to me, it's still a new brand. Even though it is 20 years old, it's one of those brands that I think I remember when it was introduced. Like, how has it been so successful, and why, especially in the last year, has it seen a real uptick?
Again, it's all about getting extremely well connected with consumer behavior and with big consumer trends and industry trends. In this case, we see that health and wellness is a big trend. We see this in every industry. For sure, COVID has accelerated that as well.
Yeah.
So we see a clear impact of this in our industry too, and this has definitely accelerated the performance of Michelob Ultra.
Marcel, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, Tim and I, for so many of our conversations for a long time, and I do feel like we're getting increasingly away of thinking about the COVID impact, but what happened to you guys during COVID that has stayed with you in terms of corporate strategy and how you relate with consumers?
So when you think about brands and commercial trends in the industry, I could name 3. So the first one, as we just spoke about, is health and wellness. Second point is premiumization, because beer is affordable luxury, right? So when people say like, okay, things are complicated, I want to give myself some treat, they can afford great beer. So we see premiumization. Again, this is a trend that we see happening in multiple industries, but in our case, in the beer industry, it's a very evident and strong trend. So back to your previous question, on the global brands, they're all premium, and they continue to be the big growth engine of the company because they're sitting over a gigantic trend. The third thing that I think we all feel is e-commerce. Because of the lockdown lives, people started getting used to buying things online. So we've been investing significant amounts of money on technology, on building those platforms. And for example, more than 50% of our net revenues, they are already sold worldwide via digital channels.
How does that work for beer?
Yeah.
Right?
How does that work?
So
we know
this is because
Drizzly and like those
yeah,
but
this is sold from us to the clients, to the retailers, right? So to the on-trade. These are business-to-business platform called BEES. It's already one of the top 10 e-commerce platforms in the world. But imagine our time, more than 50% of our net revenues are already sold via digital channels.
what about direct-to-consumer?
Direct-to-consumer, this is our next endeavor. So we have already in a few countries. So in the U.S. Specifically, we have strong partnerships with the big retailers like Walmart and so on and so forth, and Easy and the ones you mentioned. We can now operate in the U.S. doing direct to consumers operations, but in multiple countries of the world we can. In Brazil, it already represents more than 5% of our total sales. We sell direct to consumers, and we're just about to launch. Like FIFA World Cup will be a big opportunity for us, especially in Latin America and Europe. Because imagine how many people will be watching the games at home and feel like, oh, I should have ordered more beers. So we're launching Tada, right, which is our new global brand for direct to consumers in more than 10 countries in the second semester of this year, and this is growing very fast.
Marcel, are beer trends among consumers? I mean, it's probably a stupid question, but I mean, are they the same? Like, how different are they?
Some things they hit
like the wellness trends,
the different markets and with different intensity, but they're the same. Like the mega trends, as we say, like premiumization, health and wellness, e-commerce. These are mega trends. But for example, beyond beer is something that is not equally split yet. So you see, like the U.S., for example, having a very meaningful market already for beyond beer. I mean, seltzers, ready-to-drink cocktails, hard teas, and these kinds of products.
Right.
It's already 10-ish% of the total industry in the U.S. It's very sizable. In other markets, it's still more at the early stages. So this is one trend. It is a trend everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's still unevenly distributed.
Many thanks to Marcel Marcondes. He's the Chief Marketing Officer at AB InBev.
And speaking of thanking someone, a big shout out to our Carly Wana of Bloomberg News. She has been with us doing a rotation 3 months with the Bloomberg Radio Group, and she's been such an important member of our team, including helping us produce this weekend broadcast on a regular basis.
And she's not going too far, so maybe she'll actually get to join us back on air in a bit when she's got some news stories, potentially about crypto.
We totally want her back. And that wraps up the weekend edition of Bloomberg Business Week from Bloomberg Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Carol Masser.
And I'm Tim Stenevec. Be sure to tune into Bloomberg Business Week Monday through Friday. It starts at 2 p.m. Wall Street time on Bloomberg Radio.
You can also watch our daily broadcast on YouTube. Just search Bloomberg Global News.
And check out our Bloomberg Business Week podcast. You can find that at Bloomberg.com, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Bloomberg Business Week is available on newsstands now at Bloomberg.com and always on the Bloomberg Terminal.
You can also see me on Bloomberg Quick Take, available at Bloomberg.com/QT and streaming platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Samsung TV, and more. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Take care, stay safe. This is Bloomberg.
Interactive Brokers clients earn interest of up to 1.83% on the idle cash in their brokerage accounts. That's just one of many reasons clients use Interactive Brokers to trade stocks, options, futures, currencies, bonds, funds, crypto, and more. Visit ibkr.com/interest rates to learn more. That's ibkr.com/interest rates.
Some bonds last a lifetime. Some bonds inspire confidence. And some you grow to rely on. These are the bonds worth investing in. For over 50 years, PIMCO has reinvented fixed income to create opportunities for investors in every market environment. So no matter what happens, you can build the bonds that mean the most to you. PIMCO, a global leader in active fixed income. Learn more at PIMCO.com/bonds. All investments contain risk and may lose value. Consult your investment professional before investing.
Traffic and weather on Bloomberg 11.3. We still have heavy delays to the inbound upper and lower levels of the George Washington Bridge and the Cross Bronx Expressway. It's going to be a real tough ride getting to the GWB on the outbound side, backed up from the Bruckner pretty much all the way out to the GWB. The Harlem River Drive West Side Highway approach and Deegan approaches very slow as well. Holland Tunnel slow from 1 to 9. Benner from the Turnpike. Lincoln is fine in Brooklyn. BQE is jammed very, very heavy from the Prospect right up to the Brooklyn Bridge. And we also have some delays on 17 either direction going into Lodi because of construction. The Bloomberg weather should be a nice sunny afternoon and about 75, 68 now. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, 65 for tomorrow, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday looking great. Sunny, warm, 80 to about 90. I'm Steve Michaels with the best ride in and out of the city. Bloomberg 1130, now Bloomberg Sports.
The New York Giants are looking to start the season 2-0 for the first time since 2016 when they host Carolina in their home opener tomorrow. New York coming off that close win over the Tennessee Titans. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones says their job is to get better every day.
The approach, as soon as we finish up the tape on Monday, we're now on to Carolina, and that's what we're focused on. So it's just one game. We haven't done anything yet, so we're focused on this game coming up.
That's your Bloomberg Sports. I'm Seth Everett.
From the financial capital of the world, broadcasting across the globe, this is WBBR New York, Bloomberg 1130. Now, a global news update.
A hurricane watch is out for Puerto Rico as Tropical Storm Fiona gains strength in the Caribbean. The storm is currently south of the Virgin Islands, packing 60-mile-an-hour winds. Forecasters say Fiona could dump over a foot of rain in parts of Puerto Rico today, and they're warning of possible mudslides and dangerous flooding. The storm is expected to pass over the Dominican Republic tomorrow, then turn north along the east coast of the United States. A man is in handcuffs after making a run for Queen Elizabeth's coffin. Jim Forbes has more.
On Friday afternoon, a man standing with other mourners suddenly broke out of the line and ran up the steps to touch the casket. One source said he grabbed the bottom of the flag laying on her coffin and lifted it as to see what was underneath. He then was sworn by officers and tackled to the ground. He was arrested for an offense under the Public Order Act and is currently behind bars. I'm Jim Forbes.
Meanwhile, a man has been charged with sexual assault while standing in line to see the casket. British police arrested the man Friday after he allegedly exposed himself while standing in the queue, then pushed himself into two women standing in front of him. The CEO of FedEx says he expects a worldwide recession soon. Brian Shook has more.
Raj Subramaniam told CNBC the company expected demand to increase now that China opened up most of its factories with COVID in decline. He revealed Friday that demand actually fell. He said FedEx has always been a reflection of everybody else's business, and there have been declines in every segment around the world. His comments sent stocks tumbling. I'm Brian Shook.
Broadway's longest-running show is closing. The final curtain call for Phantom of the Opera will be on February 18th, just days after commemorating its 35th anniversary. It's the latest show to fall victim to a drop-off in audience attendance due to the coronavirus pandemic. The show has played to 19.5 million people. I'm Brad Siegel. Grocery store chain Safeway is under fire for environmental violations at their gas stations in California. Nika Magahis has more.
The supermarket's gas stations failed to install, implement, and use various spill prevention and safety measures while operating their underground storage tank systems since at least March 2015.
We've secured an $8 million settlement with Safeway to rectify environmental violations at 71 gas stations the company owns across the state.
Attorney General Rob Bonta announcing Friday that the settlement concludes a joint investigation by his office and 5 district attorneys. The settlement includes terms to improve operational safety and compliance